So the JW2 witness rule, let me share with you how I think some of this led to an actual suicide of somebody I knew in the church that I was in. Yes, I don't call it Kingdom Hall. I've had some people criticize me who are Jehovah's Witnesses sitting watching this when they're not supposed to. But anyway, so I'm going to share that with you and this two witness rule that just absolutely makes no sense. And you'll find everything I share with you, I really try to reason and use common sense. UCS, use common sense. It's not common anymore. Again, Gary Coxe, business and life strategist. This is one of my cockatoo's little tequila. So tequila is going to be joining us today. And also, my channel was hacked some time ago with 3,000 videos. So if you don't mind subscribing here, I'd really, really appreciate it. And then also check out my other videos. I'm not about just occult stuff by any means. I only have a couple videos at this time. But I got so much interest and so many people saying, you know, it's saving lives. And if you're involved in the JW, the cult, it can be a very, very dangerous thing. So I'm going to talk about the two witness rule they have, which makes no sense, and how I believe that led to somebody I knew in the church, yes, I call it a church, not a kingdom hall, to suicide. Very sad case, and I knew all the people pretty much involved in this situation, which I'm about to share with you. Let's see what else. I think that's about it. So we're going to go to the whiteboard here in just a second. Let me sketch this out because this gets a little complicated. What else am I thinking about? Also, yeah, when I left the cult, I was in it for over 40 years. And when I left, it was so challenging. I tailspinned, and I was $350,000 in debt. And I was drinking 2 glasses of wine and taking 5 Benadryls to go to sleep. And as I grew and became, you know, better with my mind, I actually wrote a book, one of many books that I have. This one is How to Make Your Thoughts Disappear. And now I don't even hardly drink, maybe once a month, if that. Definitely don't do any drugs. My liquid of choice is water. So ultimately, I want to show you how to play games with your mind instead of your mind playing games with you. And I think what's fascinating about cults is smart people, meaning myself and hopefully you, can believe stupid things. And as you're listening to some of this reasoning, and you're going to listen to this and go, oh my gosh, this is absolutely bizarre, I want you to be thinking for a moment, is there something that you might believe that could be bizarre, that keeps you from being the physical fit area in your life that you want to be, having better relationships? Are you buying into a poor mindset because of some stupid stuff you're buying into? All right, so let's talk about this. We'll switch on over to the whiteboard. Do I have the right board here? Yeah, I got the whiteboard here. All right, so here we go. So first of all, let's go into this let me wait before I go into the two witness rule and explain to you where it's supposed to come up. So in the congregation that I was in, there was an elder, all right? And this guy was beyond what I call self-righteous. But he always liked to ask the male younger folk how they are doing on tubation. Yeah, I'm being careful what I say because I'm not, a real student in all these rules with YouTube, and I don't want to get striked or whatever. So he's always talking about how are you doing on not playing with yourself. Let's put it that way. And I'm thinking, man, that's kind of an odd conversation to have with somebody while you're knocking on doors, preaching, and so forth. So anyway, I noticed it seemed to be a regular thing. And then after I left the cult, it made a lot of sense because this guy was allegedly accused of molesting this kid. I'm going to say allegedly. Trust me, I don't believe it's allegedly whatsoever. And then this kid, I don't even know the age, I'm going to guess 8 to 15, somewhere in that area. It's been a while because I was in this crap for 40 years. So this kid tells his friend, who's also at one time was a very, very good friend of mine, this young kid goes ahead and tells his dad about it. Well, I know his dad very well, and his dad is kind of a rebel in the church or congregation. That's Winnie, so let me open this door because Winnie's going to be flying in here. That's my other cockatoo, so bear with me. So this guy, he decides that he is going to go to the group of elders and tell this information about this guy doing what he did to this young boy. So this man now goes to this group, and here is what they said to him. Here's where it gets bizarre. They said, "How do you know this happened? Do you have witnesses?" Oh, wait a minute. You mean so this guy, he's going to say, "Hey, I need a couple witnesses. I'm going to go hang around and play with this little boy." Really? So then they threaten him and says, "If you don't have any witnesses and don't shut up about it, we are going to kick you out." Because you don't have any witnesses. There's a scripture that they use. You have to have 2 or more witnesses. Okay, watch this absolute stupidity. Check this out now. This is ridiculous. Let us say that there's a couple that they're not doing well in the church, right? They're having marital problems, all right? They're having marital problems. So, here she is. She's got a little skirt on here, all right? She's having marital problems, and here he is. Now, let's say there's no cheating, nothing's going on, they just don't like each other, whatever. And he decides he's had enough tonight, and he's going to go over to a female friend's house, okay? He's going to go over to her house. Nothing intimate whatsoever. He just needs to get away. But if she wants an excuse to divorce him, now they're only supposed to be able to divorce on the grounds of adultery. But if she wanted to, here's what she could do. So, and they have people following each other to see if you're committing adultery and all this crazy thing. So let's say he goes and spends the night over there, and the woman of the house sleeps in one bedroom and he sleeps in another bedroom. He don't even touch her. But if she wants to go to the elders and say, "My husband's committed adultery, I want a divorce." How do you know that? "Well, we followed him over to so-and-so's house and he spent the night." Oh, now what they should be saying is, "Do you have 2 or more witnesses?" No. Well, we didn't have 2 or more witnesses for the boy who had molested, we didn't have 2 or more witnesses for him, and we got to leave him alone. So, but because we don't have 2 or more witnesses there, you still feel he committed adultery. Okay, you can go get your divorce now. What? Are you kidding me? I'm not kidding. This is real stuff. This is real stuff. So this woman now can have grounds for divorce because she believes because he spent the night over here and there's nothing being done, that she now has grounds for divorce, even though there were no 2 or more witnesses. But this kid who eventually committed suicide because there was no 2 or more witnesses, he gets away with it. Here's what I'm getting at. Anybody with common sense could look at this and say something is wrong with this. Now, I get a bunch of Jehovah's Witnesses criticizing me and attacking me. You'll see them in the comments. Those are the ones that have 0 picture on their YouTube, and they don't have their name attached to their handle on YouTube, because technically it is a sin for you if you're one of those Jehovah's Witnesses watching. Hopefully I might plant a seed. So you'll notice my response to those who watch this or that criticize me. "You're a liar." Why am I lying? Well, I'm going to make this stuff up. It doesn't take rocket science to go dig a little deeper to figure out I am not lying. This is just common sense, and this is the crap that happens. So I respond to them, "Well, you know what? You're sinning by watching me. You know what we should do? Jehovah, he's a loving God, and the right thing would be for me to get the phone number of your elders so I can call them and snitch on you, because that is the loving thing to do, because you could get caught into a seed of doubt So, hey, if you're one of Jehovah's Witnesses and you're watching, go ahead and leave your phone number of your elders so I can call them, and then we can go ahead and tell the elders that you're doing some sin like this so you will survive in Armageddon. Anyway, don't get me started. So this is a type of hypocrisy that's in this cult. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm telling you, if you know anybody that's been in the cult that's left, I will guarantee you 99.9999999% of every single one of them can tell you a story, or like myself, several stories of kids that were molested in the congregations. And if you do some research, you will see that hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars are being lost in lawsuits against Jehovah's Witnesses. This is not $5 or $10 million. I am talking hundreds of millions of dollars. Now, they are worth billions of dollars, but I will promise and assure you they are bleeding of cash. They are bleeding and bleeding and bleeding. At least anything, I can respect the Pope for apologizing for the same stuff that's happening their stuff. And the thing is, my concern is, this happens all over in any group or niche, if you will. They don't hide it like they do in Jehovah's Witnesses, but to go ahead and say that you're the only chosen one and you're the channel that God is using, where you're doing anything or everything and maybe even worse than other organizations and groups, I'm just not going to buy it. I am just not going to buy it. Now, let's go back to you. I want you to think, even though this is absolutely absurd and nuts, I bet that you have some thoughts about relationships, about finances, about your health, that I believe are absolutely bizarre, absurd, that you shouldn't buy into. Like, here's one. Time heals all wounds. Time doesn't heal all wounds, you do. So if you believe time heals all wounds, you're going to have to sit there and wait on time, and you will feel that you don't have the ability to take control to heal faster. Little things like this. And this is what I do. I mean, I travel all over the world showing people how to identify the belief systems that cause them suffering, the belief systems that keep them from having more success. And these are the belief systems that cause people to commit suicide. I was one of those people that wanted and thought about suicide. When people leave this cult, there are many people that don't make it and commit suicide, or they're so lost in their past that they can't go forward. In fact, let me share. I wasn't planning on doing this, but this will help you tremendously if you're trying to leave the cult, if you've left the cult, or just in any area in life, all right? So I want you to understand that, we'll write the word experience here, experience, all right? Experience. You have a positive experience and a negative experience. No experience can exist with only a positive experience or viewpoint and not a negative one. There's no such thing as a one-sided piece of paper or a one-sided coin. Nothing can exist with only one side. So what happens is when you have a positive thought, if you're not careful, let's say a negative thought, what you'll do, you will focus on the future with negativity, which in the present will cause you to feel negative. Write this down. My future is my present. My future is my present. And write this down. My past is my present. So how have I learned to deal with the fact that every single day when I was in the cult, I spoke to my mother, and now I have only spoken to her once in 15 years because I've been shunned for life? How do I deal with all this? Because you've got trauma, you've got things in your life. Let me share with you how I deal with it. And remember, I don't lose sleep over this. I don't cry. Oh, I don't have my family anymore. I'm done. I'm not even close to that crap. No drugs, no nothing. It's because I know how to play games with my mind instead of my mind playing games with me. So if you have a negative emotion right now that you feel pained and hurt, I will assure you it is because your past is your present. You have thought about something negative in the past that you've probably lost, and in the present it makes you feel depressed and sad. This is how you can eliminate depression. On the other hand, if you feel excited about something, the reason you feel excited about something is because you're thinking about something in the past that was exciting and fun, that creates a present exciting emotion, or you're looking forward to something in the future with excitement, and that in the present makes you feel happy. So every emotion that you have, basically what you're doing, all these things that you're doing, it creates a what for you? It creates a feeling for you. So ultimately, how did you get these feelings? You made them up. You fabricated them. So when you feel excited and happy, why are you feeling happy and excited? Because your future is your present, or your past is your present. You thought about something in the past that made you happy right now in the present, or you're thinking about something in the future that makes you feel happy in the present. And all this creates a feeling that you fabricated. So just as much as when you're excited and happy, you made that up, when you're depressed and sad, take a guess what? You made that up as well. So what the feeling does then, the feeling will in turn create a what? Create a belief. How many sides does a belief have? The same size as a coin has. It has two sides. What could those two sides be? One could be faith, and the other could be doubt. So when you have doubt, what do you do when you have doubt? You have stress, you have anxiety, you are powerlessness. There's no power left in you. You're powerless. But if you have faith, what do you have? You have the natural ability to take action. You move forward. You don't sit home and become depressed and wallow in your problems. And how did you get the faith? You got the faith from a belief. How did you get the belief? From a feeling that you fabricated about something in the future or in the past that was exciting and happy, that gave you a present feeling of happiness, that gave you a feeling that created a belief that created faith. On the other hand, if you're doubtful, your anxiety, stressed out, whatever, how did you create that doubt? You created from a belief that created a feeling. That feeling was created from something that you thought about in your future or the past that was negative. There you have the simple, concentrated solution on how to control your mind and emotions. What is the difference between a positive thought and a negative thought? Here's the answer. It is the outcome. So if you have a negative experience or feeling in the moment because of how did you get that negative emotion? Because of a negative outcome in your mind. It's not going to work. This can't happen. How do I get out of this situation? The mind is a powerful thing. Hope this gives you something to think about. Love to see your comments below. I try to reply to as many of them as I possibly can. Subscribe if you don't mind. Look forward to getting to know more of you. I'm going to be doing a tour, by the way, all over the United States and maybe a little bit out of the United States, where I'm waiving my very large speaking fee. And this is for sales organizations. So if you know anybody in a sales organization that you'd like to have me come in over the next several months, as this is being now put out to YouTube. If you see this 3 years from now, I'm probably not doing it. But if you're interested in that, hit me a DM below or reach out to me, especially on Instagram or Facebook. And all you have to do is cover expenses. But this is some of the stuff that we talk about. All right, I'm out of here. Thanks for hanging with me. Tequila says goodbye. Between now and the next time we get to chat, you know what to do. And if you don't, you do now. The title of one of my books, Don't Let Others Rent Space in Your Head. Never give up and learn to master how to play games with your mind instead of your mind plays games with you. And remember, it's going to be okay.